Hi there, my name is Alistair Kennedy and I'm the Sociable Social Worker, and I give practical advice to those who want to foster and adopt. And in this video I'm going to look at, from a social work perspective, of the 5 amazing habits of foster carers and what makes great foster carers, amazing foster carers. So let's go. So habit number 1, empathy. Now, we know in foster care empathy is absolutely crucial, but can you have too much? That's the question. You know, how empathetic do foster carers need to be? And it's an interesting question. Well, social workers, we don't want you to be absolutely heartless. We also need you to be objective, and we need to, sometimes you have to make tough decisions. In my opinion, the amazing foster carers often have to hold a little back. And I know that statement is a bit controversial, but you have to kind of remember you have to have a good mix of emotional empathy and also cognitive empathy. In other words, you understand someone else's pain, but also you understand the perspectives of the others. Now, I'm not advocating that you become like Hannibal Lecter and have absolutely no empathy, but some carers who've had short-term placement after short-term placement can suffer from compassion fatigue and often burnout. So it's important that you look after your heart. There's a lot of loss and a lot of trauma in fostering, so it's important that you look after yourself. Amazing habit number 2. I say this in all my videos, always seek out allies. Now, when you start on your fostering journey, I don't know what part of your journey you're on, but if you're a new foster carer, seek out allies. People will be at all different stages, but seek out allies, particularly at your initial training phase. You might meet some experienced foster carers. Get a good mix of buddies and try and buddy up with people. Now, the reason I say that is because you don't know everything. No one knows everything. I learn something every day in social work, and it's important that you have that buddy system available for you to learn from others. And an old manager used to say to me, Alistair, sometimes it's not about everyone else. Sometimes it can be about you. So seek allies. Amazing trait number 3, avoid social media. Now, I know that's going to be anathema to some people, but what I see a lot of the time is a lot of foster carers and new foster carers joining social media site after social media site, Facebook groups, WhatsApp carer groups, and these can tend to have a social work narrative that sometimes can be a bit toxic. What I would say to you is, as a new foster carer, or even as an experienced one, is stay away from those kind of social work negative narratives and stick to Facebook and Instagram or whatever you connect with your own family. But be aware at times that this social media rabbit hole can lead you down rabbit holes that you don't want to go into, and tend to be quite negative about social work, sometimes even about fostering, and sometimes even about adoption. Amazing habit number 4, Avis la fin. That's my Scottish clan motto. It means consider the end. And I always try and say to new foster carers and experienced foster carers to always avis la fin, consider the end of placements. Now, you'll have heard in your training that some young people, and you may have heard from young people as well, that they've sometimes been black bagged at the end of placements. Now, thankfully that's on the decrease, although it still happens from time to time. I've seen it from time to time, and that's disappointing. Being black bagged means that all your possessions get put in a black bag, which is just terrible. So for endings, I always say to people, we want positive goodbyes. We want a dinner, a goodbye dinner. We want memory boxes to go. We want clothes packed properly in luggage, clothes ironed, toys and everything sent along on the day of the move. We want a positive ending to that placement. The other part of my motto is avis initium. Forgive my Latin. My Latin's a bit rusty, but that means consider the beginning. And of course, you have to consider the beginning of a placement. And I'm always saying to my social work students and my foster carers that I work with, and adoptive parents, is always consider that beginning. So a really warm welcome, big smiles. You'll have seen from other videos, I've talked about that. Having a clean house, warm food on the go, a warm house, clean linen, clean bathrooms. You do a tour of the house so people know, so young people and children know the rules. You get the drift. You know where I'm going with this, and you'll do it in your training as well. But always avis etiam. Again, sorry about the Latin. And the last habit, number 5, that makes an amazing foster carer is diaries. Okay, don't switch off, I know. But I want to say to you as a foster carer watching this, is that if you're writing your diary, remember who's going to be looking at in the future. I was adopted and went back to look at my records, and they were really scant, and it doesn't give you a frame of reference, a point in time of what you were doing then as a child. So these diaries sometimes can be the only social work record that a young person has ever had. So they're vitally important. I can't stress enough that you need to do the 5 W's when you're recording your information, not just all settled or he was okay today or she was okay today. Make sure you're as detailed as you can be, and it gives a frame of reference for that young person or that child in placement. So there you have it, the 5 habits of amazing foster parents from a social work perspective, a supervising social worker's perspective. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want notifications, then ring that little bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.